So we wanted to talk a little bit about persistence and encourage you a little bit through some video. So here's our first video.
Well, stronger than we are. You already written Friday night down as a loss, bro? Well, not if I know we can beat them. Come here, bro. You too, Jeremy. What about trouble now? Not yet. I want to see you do the death crawl again, except I want to see your absolute best. What? You want to go to 30? I think you go to 50. 50? I can go to 50 if nobody's on my back. I think you can do it with Jeremy on your back, but even if you can, I want you to promise me you're going to do your best. All right. Your best. Okay. You going to give me your best? I'm going to give you my best. All right, one more thing. I want you to do a blindfold. One. Because I want you to give them up at a certain point when you can go further. Get down. Jeremy, get on his back. Just keep tight hold, Jeremy. All right. Let's go, Rob. Keep your knees off the ground. Just your hands and feet. There you go. Look to the left. Look to the left. There you go. Check it out. All right, Rob. Keep going. There you go. Good stop. Then good left. Good left. There you go, Rob. Good strength. That's it, Brock. That's it. 20 yet? Get the 20. You give me your best. You keep going. That's it. No, don't stop, Brock. You got more to you than that. Just right there. Just rest for a second. You got to keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's go. Don't quit till you got nothing left. There you go. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. You keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. Keep driving. Very best. Your very best. Your very best. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. That's it. That's it. Keep going. Don't quit them. Keep going. Keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. That's it. Your very best. Don't quit them. Your very best. Keep driving. Keep driving. There you go. There you go. That's it. You keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. Keep driving. Don't quit till you got nothing left. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. That's it. That's it. Keep going. I want everything you got. Come on. Keep going. Don't quit. You're very best. Keep driving. Keep driving. There you go. There you go. You negotiate with your buddy to find more sleep, but don't you give up on me, Brock. You keep going. You hear me? You keep going. You do good. You keep going. You're not quit. You keep going. I know how. You keep going. You keep going. It's all hard from here. 30 more steps. You keep going, Brock. Come on. Keep going. Hey, let it roll. It's all hard. You keep going, Brock. Come on. Come on. Keep going. You probably your best. Your best. Don't stop. Keep going. It's not too hard. You keep going. Come on, Brock. Give me more. most influential player on this team. If you walk around defeated, so will they. Don't tell me you can't get any more than what I've been seeing. You just carry a 140-pound man across this whole field in your arms. Brock, I need you. God's gifted you with the ability of leadership. Don't waste it. Can I count on you? Yes. What is it, Jerry?
I want to win 60.
You notice that it says persistence up there, and you think about what Brock had to do. He had a coach right down there in his ear. He had a 160-pound teammate, not a 140-pound teammate. What I want you to focus on is that top line. It says facing the Giants. You got all kinds of things that are going on in your life. The ACT, the MME, is it really a giant in your life? No. What I would share with you is this. The ACT, the MME in its entirety certainly is a challenging assessment. It has now become something that most people are very aware of in the state of Michigan. You will come across a few questions on this assessment next week that will certainly be challenging. The key words are persistence. Get through it. We're going to share with you some tips and some strategies, but there's going to be some. Keep that focus, that persistence over 3 days. You're going to be tired mentally. You're going to be drained. It's about persisting through this assessment every moment that you are presented in a classroom over next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We are really working hard to make sure that we provide to you the very best setting possible to take this assessment. Can somebody, this doesn't seem to be working. Thank you. Positive. When we think about being positive, don't walk in thinking, oh man, I'm not going to do well on this test. This test is way over my head. Don't think along those lines because it's going to set you back. If you think I'm going to do my very best, I'm going to remember those tips that they shared with us, I will persist through this, you will be fine. You'll do just fine on this assessment. Next slide. Will you click on that link?
One minute, please. Thank you. Could you all please put down your pens and bring your papers to the front? Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. According to that time, you failed. Sorry. Excuse me, do you know who I am? I had absolutely no idea.
You know, I really love that little clip right there. Because when you think about it, he had absolutely no clue who that young man is. What I wanted to share with you is this. We have all of the proctors that are in the rooms. Might not be a teacher that you have had, but it is somebody that teaches on this staff. So they are very fully aware of our school, want to provide a familiar face. There will be some of you that will actually have as your proctor in the room one of your former teachers or a current teacher. So in that case where you saw that guy didn't give care about that young man at all. Had no clue, didn't care. We are doing our very best to put somebody in the room that is a familiar face that you've either seen in the cafeteria, in the hallway, or you have had as a teacher in the past or present. Next slide. There it is. We know about it. Next slide. Okay, when we think about it, I'm going to ask Mrs. Anderson to share a little bit about how we're trying to personalize this beyond just the high school.
So, not everybody has gotten their letters yet, right? And how many of you guys have received a letter that was personally written to you by a 3rd or 4th grader? Okay? So, just a quick, how did that make you feel to read that letter? Okay? Good. Here's the idea behind those letters, you guys, is that as a Rocket community, we are all a team, okay? And the idea to carry away from that is that really when you're performing on that test, okay, on Tuesday, the ACT and then MME all week, when you're performing on that test, really you're part of something that is bigger than yourselves, okay? As a team, we're going to have an ACT average, and all of you guys know our 23 goal, okay? That 23 is our goal ACT average, but as a team, what it takes to get there, what I read in a lot of the letters from the 3rd and 4th graders was this. Not necessarily get a 23. I did see some students write, get 100%, okay? Or get a 50, or something that maybe they weren't quite understanding. But what I did read a lot of was students asking you to do your personal best, okay? So from a 3rd or 4th grader, it was asking you to do your very best. So remember on Tuesday, you're part of something that's much, much bigger than yourselves, and we're part of a team that is working toward a goal, okay? I know some of you even have actually asked to write those 3rd and 4th graders back, which I know that they would appreciate, okay? So next thing, you guys, what we're going to do is look at some myths. Okay, are you guys ready for a little quiz? Yeah! Okay. Gotta get warmed up for the test on Tuesday. You guys don't need to bubble any sections in, okay? You don't need a number 2 pencil, but it is going to be a little quiz, okay? So, ACT, don't answer yet. Hold your answers, you guys. Give everybody a chance to think. Is cramming the night before the test a good idea? Okay. This is not a test you're going to cram for the night before the test. So I heard a lot of you guys say no, which is correct. Good job. This is a test that you prepared for really over the course of your entire educational career, which leads you to this test that you're going to take. Okay, you guys ready for next question? Yes. Next question. Okay, ACT question. There are some test dates that give an easier form of the ACT test other than the March test. Heard that before. Is that true? Or is that a myth? Okay. The tests are the same, whether you come on a Saturday in August or you take it in March. The ACT test is going to be an equal level of difficulty. Okay, so the test will be not the exact same, but it will be an equal level of difficulty wherever you take it. So next question. ACT, using a calculator is needed for every math problem in the ACT. Fact or myth? Okay. Sometimes using your calculator might take a whole bunch of extra time that you don't need. So only pull out your calculator when you look at that question and you know what you're going to do with your calculator. Okay? If you don't know what you're going to do when you take that calculator out and just start punching random numbers in, that's probably not the best use of your time. Okay? They do say that every ACT question can be done without a calculator. Nothing is required to need a calculator. Obviously, having one, you have to have a calculator with you. Having one is going to be a huge advantage. But don't automatically assume that you should just start punching numbers in. Okay, next question. You guys are getting good at this. Feeling good for Tuesday. Oh, okay, that was our last factor myth question. Okay, those are all myths. Okay. The next thing you guys are going to see are some tips. Again, from all kinds of rockets around our community. Remembering that Tuesday, what happens on Tuesday is your performance is part of a bigger team.
Rockets, it's Mr. Grant, principal of Reese Butler Middle School, with your ACT tip. Every 5 questions or so, go back, double check. Make sure you didn't mismark any of your ovals. And remember to do your very best on the test. Go Rockets!
Hi, my name is Don Smith. I'm a 6th grade at the RPI Middle School. And my ACT tip for you is right early at your testing room and do your best on the test. Go Rockets!
Hey juniors, Mr. Powell here. I wish you guys luck on the ACT. My tip for you today is that you do not get penalized for wrong answers on the ACTs. Do not leave anything blank. Good luck. Go Rockets.
I'm Ashton and I'm here from Glen. And my ACT tip for you is to eat a good breakfast before coming to school. Go Rockets!
Hello, Rocket Juniors. This is Mr. Reese. My ACT tip is that difficult questions, eliminate as many of the answers as you possibly can, and then make an educated guess on the ones that are left. I wish you the very best on the test. Good luck, and as always, go Rockets.
Hi, Junior Rockets. I'm Isaiah, a 4th grade student at RP Elementary. My ACT tip for you is to stay focused on the topic. Do your very best on the test. Go Rockets!
I'm Mrs. Schmidt, the principal at McMillan Elementary School, and my tip for you for taking the ACT is to take your time and read each question carefully. Go Rockets!
Hi, Junior Rockets. I'm Diane and I'm Krista. And we're 8th graders at RP Middle School. Our ACT tip for you is if you are unsure of the question, don't vote. And mark the question and come back to it. Do your very best on the test. Go Rockets!
Hey Junior Rockets, it's Mr. Connor from Reese Butler Intermediate School. My tip for you on your ACT test today is mark your answers properly. And when you erase, make sure you don't leave any smudges. Do your best on your test. Go Rockets!
Hi, Junior Rockets. This is Miss Sarah from your cafeteria middle school. My ACT tip for you today is use a number 2 pencil with a good eraser. Good luck on the test. Do your best.
Greetings, Rockets. Mr. Slavina here with your ACT tip. My ACT tip for you is pace yourself. Do not spend too much time on a single passage or question. Good luck.
Hi, Junior Rockets. I'm Logan, 4th grader at Central Elementary School. My ACT tip for you is to get plenty of rest before the test. Do your best on the test. Go Rockets!
Hi, Rocket Juniors. I'm Mr. Edwards, your very proud superintendent. My ACT writing tip today is to vary the structure of your sentences and use varied and precise word choices. Good luck on the ACT. Do your best work. As always, go Rockets.
Junior Rockets, I'm Aiden Starr, an 8th grader at RP Middle School. My ACT tip for you is carefully read the instructions on the test booklet. Do your very best on the test and go Rockets. Good morning, juniors at Reese Butler High School. My name is Kelly Peel. My ACT writing tip for you is to end with a strong conclusion that reinforces your possession.
Hi, Junior Rockets. I'm Kara, a 4th grade student at Reese Butler Elementary School. My ACT tip for you is use specific details. Do your very best on your test. Go Rockets!
Hey everybody, this is Mr. Richards from Twin Lake Elementary, and as you guys are getting ready to take the ACT, I got a quick tip for you. Here's the tip. Don't second guess yourself. Let me say it again. Don't second guess yourself. If for number 18 you choose C, it's probably for a good reason. Trust your gut. Alright? We just want to wish you good luck and encourage you as you go.
sure to explain it in a clear and logical way. Good luck.
Junior Rockets, this is Mr. Lyons, principal at Central Elementary. My ACT tip for you is pay attention to the announcement of 5 minutes remaining on each test. Do your very best on the test and go Rockets.
Hi, Junior Rockets. I'm Ted, a fourth grader at all elementary schools. My ACT tip for you is read each question carefully. Do your best on the test. Go Rockets.
Yo, Rocket Juniors, this is Mrs. Whitaker here at Central Elementary. I teach first grade, and some of you might know me. Well, here's my ACT tip for you. Well, if you're doing these easy ones first, then go back and do those really challenging ones. They're probably something good for you. Always do your best on the job. Hey, high school Rockets, welcome back to the middle school. Probably seems like just yesterday you were here, and now you're getting ready to take the MME, which is an important test. We want you to do your best. So here's the deal. If you get stuck and you don't know the answer, we're going to make sure that you fill in every single bubble that you don't know with the same letter. And we've decided it's going to be C. Now remember, if you want to get up and do the Mitchelson, hey, you go right for it. But most importantly, remember, you're smart and you're strong and you're a rocket. Go get that test.
Okay. All right, Junior. You raise it up. Thank you very much. You saw a compilation, 23 different tips. A couple things that I want to remind you of. One that's very important, we put it first, from little Claire Watson from RP Intermediate. Make sure that your cell phone is left either in your locker, in your car, at home. Please, listen, do not bring your cell phone. Here is why. One, if your cell phone is in the room, it invalidates your test and every test in the room. That is not a rule that Reese Puffer makes. That is a national rule specified by ACT. The test proctors will remind, please make sure before you get to your room and get to your room early that that cell phone is, it doesn't mean, well, I got it and it's off. You can't have it physically on your person at any time during any part of the test. Please make sure you understand that very clearly. Okay? When I think of those other things, number 2, pencil. Mrs. Anderson talked about one of those myths about the calculator. Do you need a calculator for every question? The answer was no, but you definitely want to have a calculator there. Do you need a calculator that has graphing functions? The answer is no. The best type of calculator is a scientific calculator that you can get for about $4 at Meijer. If you do not have a calculator, we can supply one for you through the counseling office. Here's my worry. Some of you know your calculator very, very well. When you get one of our calculators, it might be a little different. I want you to be as accustomed to using the calculator that you normally do during school every day. Please make sure you bring that.
You guys, it's really important that you know how to use that calculator. I've seen students do it. They don't know where the fraction button is. They don't know where the exponent button is. If it's a calculator you get that morning, and you don't want to be searching on that test and you can't ask, that's not a question that the teacher can answer in that room. One idea, see your math teacher ahead of time. Talk to your math teacher. If you don't have a calculator, see if you can check one out. Another idea is that seniors don't have class that day. So you could ask a senior if you could borrow a calculator, and you could get it ahead of time and kind of make sure you know how to use those buttons. Okay, so one of those two options. Otherwise, on the morning of, you can check one out from the counseling office, but that really should be the last option. Okay?
Okay, next slide, Mr. Model. Thank you. There are no snacks or drinks allowed. That includes the proctors. They can't drink coffee, they can't drink water, neither can you. When we show you the schedule, we've got snacks and water provided for you each day where we have the extended break, so we'll take good care of you, and we're mixing the snacks. But know that you can. So if you were to finish early, you can't like pull out of a pocket some Oreo cookies. You can't do those things, all right? Next slide. Okay, Mr. Milder, when you click on this, I'll show you where to go. So if you can click on that link, what was back up one? Back up one. That one. Click on the ACT rooms, and then if you go up to view, go to clockwise, rotate view, and go to clockwise once. Thank you. Now, students, can we make it any bigger? No, yes. At the 43%, let's go to like, what do we got choices of? Let's try 100. Perfect. It's not perfect. How do I get the rest of it on there? Let's try 75. There we go. Okay. You're starting to look at your name because it's done alpha. You'll notice the very first column says Mr. Gagan, Mr. Hankinson in room 105, 106. Where is that hallway? First floor, second floor? First floor. You can see it starts with A, the bottom ends with a C there. We're going to start the page slowly. Before we do that, Mr. Milder, students, this will be presented right outside the counseling office. It'll also be posted before you walk down either the 100 hall or the 200 hall. Okay, let's go. You can start to ease on over, so then we'll bring it up. We're through, Jordan, on page 1. Here we go. Let's move it up again. Thank you, Mr. Milder. Oh, just grab it. You can just grab it probably. There we go. Oh, for a minute. I like that. Here we go. Second page. Starting at Mrs. Crayley, Mr. Knapp, 114, 115, Greer through Johnson, Hine, Earhart, 305, 306 goes from Johnson, Cayley to Lopez, Antonio, Burton, Hanson. You can see it. Start to catch where your name is. The thing you want to know is what is the room numbers. It's not so important that you know the names of the teachers. It's about the room. And one of your tips was make sure you get to your test site early. Next one. Thank you, Mr. Milder. MME, 3 days. Let's take a peek at what these days look like. I want you on the edge of your seats. Here we go. Listen up. On the edge of your seats. This is what it's going to look like Tuesday morning. Notice the times. You're going to see some of those are for teachers. The second line in under activity says students report as you normally would. You got to get to that test site by 7:52. If you notice, you've already been profiling, filling in bubble sheets and so on. They have to identify you. You must have your ID, driver's license. If you do not have a driver's license, you got to make sure you have your school ID. You must have that with you. You must have that with you. Now you can take a look. The first, you're going to get some information from your testing proctors. You'll notice that it says from the 8:20 to 9:05, it begins exactly on, not before. Everything is timed to the very minute. You'll notice that your ACT English is 45 minutes long. Then they will give you the verbal instructions right after that test. Remember what Mr. Lyons said. They will give you the warning. It'll say, there is 5 minutes left. So at the 40-minute mark on the English test, whoever your proctor is, they will say, you have 5 minutes remaining. If you have skipped and you've gone through some of the easy ones, you left some others that are a little more difficult, make sure you go back. In your head right now, in your head, I want you to think of a letter that in the event that you can't figure one out, you're going to make a best guess. Is it A? B, C, or D. Here's what I want you to do. Think about it right now and make the decision right now. Let's say you have 5 left that you do not. In your head you say it's B. You go through remembering you have 5 minutes. Don't leave one blank because it doesn't penalize you if you leave one blank. It does. You just fill them in. Get them in there. Same one. The research actually says instead of going, I think they'll go B, then D, then C, then A. No. Go same letter all the way through. Now you'll notice it says simultaneous break for juniors, 10 minutes. When you walk up, Mrs. Delaney and myself will be on the wing above the 100 and the 300 hallway. We'll have snacks and water for you. Down on the other wing, we'll have somebody else. I can't remember if that will be Mrs. Anderson or Mr. Sembita, but we'll have snacks for you on that one. Take a look. Remember that first slide was persistence. Persistence. You come back at 10:25 verbal instructions. Then you got a reading test. ACT reading, 35 minutes long. You'll get that 5-minute warning. Then you'll notice that you've got the science after that one. Then it says break all juniors, remain in the room. That is a break. Let a little bit of air out, but you don't leave the room. There's no potty break there. By the way, when you get up there, you can't leave the room. So that 15-minute break, or excuse me, the 10-minute break, that's when you need, if you need to use the restroom, do it now, do it then. Okay? You'll see then the ACT writing is 30 minutes. If you look at the bottom, it says you are dismissed at what time from the room? Day 1. At 12:30, if everything's collected, you are then dismissed. And you ready? You're dismissed for the day. Right? Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, 2 years ago, we had to go back to 5th and 6th off. We realized that day is a challenge. 12:30, you're done for the day. All right? Listen, for some that ride buses, you need to stay around. We will still have an opportunity to get you lunch. And then you'll be we'll just have you stay in the cafeteria until your bus arrives. But the rest of you, find a way home. I would suggest do that at 12:30. Let's roll up day 2. Day 2. All right, here's day 2. Let's take a look. You'll see on the side, what time you're reporting? 7:52. You'll see the distribution of tests. We start exactly at what time? Test number 1. 8:10. How long is that test? 45 minutes long. Then you're going to get a little bit of a break for verbal instructions. Then you have a 45-minute math. The yellow line is your first break. What time does that break start? Okay, and that's when, if you need to use the restroom, that's when you use it. Your proctors are going to be there to help you, encourage you, make sure everything's taken care of, okay? I would suggest this. Bring two number 2 pencils. 2. And you want to make sure they have erasers on. Okay, when does the last test end? 11 what? 02. Okay, we collect those exams. All right. That day, you already noticed, is shorter. We're still persisting. We got day 3. Here we go. Day 3. Day 3, what time do you report? Are you ready? Question. Do you report to the same room? Yes, you do. When's the first test start exactly? It starts exactly at 8:15. What time's the break? When does the social studies exam end? When are the test booklets collected? All right. This information will also be posted in the cafeteria. This will also be online for you. We can give you a printed copy if you want. Here's the reason why. I want it to be as detailed as possible so you don't ever have to ask the question, where am I supposed to be, what time, and what test is first, which one's second, which one's last. What day is the ACT, what day are the Michigan wraparounds, that type of thing. Okay, I think that one's done. Let's close that one. I'll go to the next slide. This one, if you can just click on that link, Mr. Milder. You've seen this before. If you need additional or would like additional support, if you go to the Reese Butler High School webpage, you go to the LMC, you'll notice where it's the hand is under Library Media Center. If you click on there, and you'll see right under it says ACT MME Prep. It's all there. I'm not going to take you through that. If you want, there's still practice tests out there, additional strategies and tips. And it gives you, and Mrs. by the way, Mrs. Vincent unbelievably put all that together for you. So she, that's right. Say what, we are fortunate there. Okay, let's back out of that. All right, here's the video. Before we start the video, if you've not seen the movie, this is Robin Williams in a movie called Dead Poets Society. And the idea behind Carpe Diem means seize the day. Take the opportunity. Listen closely and watch as Mr. Robin Williams portrays himself as a teacher.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Who knows where that comes from? Anybody? Not a clue. It's from a poem by Walt Whitman about Mr. Abraham Lincoln. Now, Miss Clarence, you can either call me Mr. Keating, or if you're slightly more daring, oh, Captain, my Captain. Allow me to spell a few rumors so they don't fester at the facts. Yes, I too attended Helton, and I survived. And no, at that time I was not the mental giant you see before you. I was the intellectual equivalent of a 98-pound weakling. I would go to the beach, and people would kick copies of Byron in my face. Now, Mr. Pitts. It's rather an unfortunate name. Where are you? Mr. Pitts, you open your note, page 542. Read the first stanza of the poem you find there. So the versions to make much of time? Yes. Somewhat appropriate, isn't it?
Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Old time is still a-flying. And this same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be dying.
Thank you, Mr. Pitts. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. The Latin term for that sentiment is carpe diem. Now, who knows what that means? Carpe diem. That seize the day. Very good, Mr. Meeks. Meeks. Another unusual name. Seize the day. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Why does the writer use these lines? Because he's in a hurry. No. And we're going anyway. Because we are food for worms, lads. Because believe it or not, each and every one of us in this room is one day going to stop breathing, turn cold, and die. I'd like you to step forward over here and peruse some of the faces from the past. You've walked past them many times, but I don't think you really looked at them. They're not that different from you, are they? Same haircuts, full of hormones, just like you. Invincible, just like you feel. The world is their oyster. They believe they're destined for great things, just like many of you. Their eyes are full of hope, just like you. Did they wait till it was too late to make from their lives even one iota of what they were capable?
Because you see, gentlemen, these boys are now fertilizing daffodils. If you listen real close, you'll hear the whisper of the legacy to you. Go on, lean in.